Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and this channel's for everyone worldwide that likes great movies and TV series. Today we've got a special double feature, and these are about two great prison dramas that I really kind of felt like go together and really are a great double feature. So today we're going to deep dive into The Green Mile on 4K Ultra HD and Shawshank Redemption on 4K Ultra HD. And like I said, these are two double features that are really enjoyable and outstanding prison dramas. So today we're going to deep dive into both of these features, and we're going to be doing my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons on each one of these. I'm going to go through, give you the specs on it, my thoughts on the films themselves, kind of give you a mini movie review. Then at the end, as always, I'll wrap up each one with its individual review score and let you know if these are something you should upgrade to over the original Blu-ray releases, or if it's something you should skip. So make sure you stick around to the end of each one so you don't miss out on my review score that lets you know the overall sum up of the quality of each one of these. Now, The Green Mile will be coming out in a few days after my review comes out here, so this review is a little bit early to let you know if this is something you're going to want to pick up on release date. Now that both of these Frank Darabont movies are actually on 4K Ultra HD, I'm really hoping that Warner Brothers will bring out two of his other films that I really enjoyed as well, The Majestic and The Mist. Now, I know that these have varying qualities, but to be honest with you, I really enjoyed Frank Darabont as a director and writer altogether. Now, these are two films that I really do think would look gorgeous on 4K Ultra HD, especially if you haven't seen The Mist in black and white. There's a black and white version of The Mist that actually would look awesome in 4K with HDR. So that would be really cool to have in 4K. And obviously The Majestic is an absolutely wonderful film if you haven't seen it yet. And I talked about The Majestic a long time ago, probably about 2 or 3 years ago on the channel, in one of my top kind of hidden movies that a lot of people didn't know about that Frank Darabont did. And it is really good. So hopefully this leads to Warner Brothers coming back and releasing these two on 4K Ultra HD. Now, talking about The Green Mile first here, this is the first one we're going to dive into here. Now, like I said, these are prison dramas. Now, Frank Darabont wrote and directed these from Stephen King novels. So he basically adapted these from Stephen King novels, and I really do like them. They are really well done, outstanding dramas, that the acting in them superb. You've got Tom Hanks in it, who's top billed on this, but to be honest with you, Michael Clarke Duncan is really the one that shines in the performance in this movie. I did think Tom Hanks was good in this, but he's nowhere near as good as Michael Clarke Duncan was in this. And he did pass away many years ago, but his performance in this is outstanding, and I really did enjoy him as an actor. And I feel like he really carries this movie, even though Tom Hanks is in it as well as numerous other actors. Now, we're going to start off with my 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison, and you're going to see the Blu-ray up here above first. That's the original Blu-ray release. That actually includes the original Blu-ray release in this as well. They did not redo the Blu-ray that's released in this or Shawshank Redemption. They're the original Blu-ray releases. That's what you're going to see above there. Now, the 4K release that you're going to see above here, this one's been completely redone with a new color grading, scan, a native 4K 2160p release on this 4K Ultra HD. And there's a lot of things that are drastically different between the original one and this new one. And while we get into this, I always touch on this. I will have everything that I talk about and review here today linked in the description section right below this video, as well as a pinned comment in the comment section. So if you decide after watching my reviews that you want to pick up any of these that I've talked about, make sure to go down to one of those links below. It takes you straight out to Amazon, makes it nice and easy for all of you, and that does help out this YouTube channel just a little bit. So make sure if you're going to pick it up to go through one of those links below, and that's at no additional charge to you. So when you click on those, there's no extra cost. It's the same sale prices everywhere. It just helps out this YouTube channel just a tiny bit. So make sure if you're going to pick it up, click through one of those links below. Now, on this 4K Ultra HD versus that Blu-ray, the 4K HDR presentation is much more clean, clear of a presentation. It does retain the natural film grain, though the film grain is very refined, smooth. There isn't fluctuations throughout it. It's a very smooth presentation overall, and the film grain is not heavy in any shape or form. So whether you love film grain or you hate it, this one's a gorgeous presentation overall that they did on this, that it is very nicely done without using DNR or neat. And I kind of talked about this recently on my last Some Like It Hot review, but a lot of people don't know some of the programs these companies use to try to make films look more modern, and one of them is called Neat. Well, they did not use that on this, nor DNR to actually take out the film grain, which kind of gives it a waxy appearance, and that actually takes away details in the film and details on their faces. As you probably noticed above, there's a drastic difference in the amount of detail between that Blu-ray. The original Blu-ray had a very hazy, fuzzy appearance. It was very, very soft and did not have extreme details or depth to that image, as well as it had a very, very orange and brown overall tone to it. So when they did the color grading for that old Blu-ray release, they did it in a very deep orangey brown colors, as you probably noticed above, comparing that Blu-ray to obviously the 4K Ultra HD release. The 4K Ultra HD has a more natural and just overall realistic appearance to the color tone, that when they did the new color grading, they took that orangey brown that they oversaturated in the Blu-ray out and just gave it a more natural appearance, which overall adds to the more enjoyment and better looking for the Green Mile overall on this 4K Ultra HD release. So overall, the difference between the color grading is drastically night and day. Now, when we get to Shawshank Redemption later on, there's actually some quite drastic differences in the other direction of some things that were changes from the old Blu-ray. So that one was pretty interesting too, comparing these two as I was going through both of them for this special review. Now, just like you're seeing above with these exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons that I'm doing, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like for me. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss out on any of this special or exclusive content that I create here on my YouTube channel. Now, gone are the hazy and soft appearance on this 4K Ultra HD, which is a welcome addition to this movie. Now, this movie is a really great adaptation from a Stephen King novel. Both this and The Shawshank Redemption, I think, were really well done by Frank Darabont. Now, this one came out in 1999, and it does run for 188 minutes, and it is rated R. Now, as far as the R goes, I don't consider it a hard R. It is rated R for basically some violence and some language, things that kind of go on in prison, executions, things like that. But I did think it was well done. It's not overly over the top. And a lot of the times, a lot of you ask me, hey, how do I think this rates for an R movie? I think it was done very well. And for a Stephen King novel, it's one of my favorite adaptations, up there with Shawshank Redemption. And I do think they're outstanding dramas to really sit back, enjoy, and have a good movie night. Though I will point out, they are tearjerkers. If you've seen The Green Mile or The Shawshank Redemption, both of them will really draw tears to your eyes. I saw these originally in theaters many, many years ago, and the thing about it is it's one of those movies that it'll just hit you. And that is one of those things that I think is lacking in a lot of films nowadays. There isn't such an emotional resonance in the films that are really lacking in a lot of films that are made these days. And it's not that I don't enjoy big blockbusters, I do, but very rarely do we get these emotional resonance dramas that you just sit back and enjoy. The characters, the writing's phenomenal, and it envelops you in this whole world. And that's where I feel like The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption did a really good job with that. Now, as I said, this does come in a native 4K 2160p, and they scanned this from the original 35mm film elements and brought it onto this, and this looks outstanding with more natural and lifelike color timing, drastically over that orangish, brownish that was incorrectly done on the Blu-ray. And that's where it makes this film stand out so much better. Even like the green areas where you can see like the green of the paint on the bars in the prison cell. You can actually see their green in this, whereas in the original Blu-ray release, you couldn't. I mean, they kind of just looked brown like everything else. I mean, heck, most of the original Blu-ray, it just had brown in everything. Everything was brown. In this, you can actually see the different color shades, and you can see how there's actually green on the bars. So it really does make the film look night and day difference, more like what it was originally when it was released in theaters, other than when they incorrectly messed with the colors on the Blu-ray release. So it's nice to see this back to the original way it was when you originally went to see it in theaters, and how good it actually looked. So you can actually see what the film was trying to present with the costumes and the set pieces. They really do stand out on this new 4K Ultra HD. Now, it is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. They didn't mess with it or cut it down or in any way take off anything from the sides or the top and the bottom. It is presented in its original aspect ratio. Some exciting news on this is it does have a brand new audio mix. This did get a brand new English Dolby Atmos mix. And the Dolby Atmos mix is where it's at. It really does stand out as a big upgrade over the previous Blu-ray release that didn't have that at all on it. And it has subtle nuances and things that you'll notice with the clicking of the shoes walking through the prison cell, how you can hear the sounds bouncing off the top of the prison cell above because it was cement as well, going back and forth. And there's little nuances that really added a whole new experience. And I really did like the Dolby Atmos mix that they put on this, and thought that added to what made this such a nice presentation. Now, you also get an English Dolby True HD 7.1 mix on this. And then you get a bunch of other languages, which are in Dolby Digital 5.1. You get French, German, Italian, Spanish. Subtitle-wise, you get English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, plus 9 other subtitles. So basically any subtitles you're going to want anywhere around the world, you're going to get them on this. Showing you real quick what you get inside here. Now, it does come with a really nice slipcover. Says the Green Mile on the side. And then on the back, it's got a nice picture of Tom Hanks and a bunch of the supporting cast on it. Talks about that you do get a digital movie code, and that's Movies Anywhere. So that's really nice. They included that as well. Now, when you get inside here, you obviously have your original Blu-ray disc, and then here's your brand new 4K Ultra HD, where it does say it has HDR and HDR10. And the 4K Ultra HD, like I said, you'll never watch this Blu-ray disc. Talking about special features, it does port over all of the special features that were previously on the Blu-ray disc. So those are standard on it. What you got in the original Blu-ray disc release, not the Deluxe Diamond Edition. There was one special feature in the Deluxe Diamond Edition that did not get ported over at all. That is not included on this. This is the original Blu-ray release that was not the Deluxe Diamond. They've never re-released that special feature, which is basically them talking about all of the behind the scenes and things. They never did that again. They didn't add anything new for it. This is where the 4K Ultra HD is at though. You'll never watch the movie on this. You put this disc in, then you go watch this one. Man, does this look horrible compared to this. So it's really surprising, even in the opening scenes when they're running through the fields. Man, it is so fuzzy, faded out, the browns everywhere. You can't see differences between colors. You put this in, it's a night and day difference picture. Clarity, sharpness. Overall, as a cinephile, anybody that collects cinema, this is one of those discs that really does shine on your home cinema. Now overall, I really enjoy the Green Mile, though I will say between this and Shawshank Redemption, I do like Shawshank Redemption as a movie just slightly better, but the Green Mile I still love for a completely different reason. They're different stories, they're not the same thing, they have different meanings. This one's more or less of kind of one of those stories that you realize that there are consequences for things we do in lives, and it's kind of paying for those consequences and living up to what things you've done with kind of a mystery. And I don't want to give it all away if you haven't seen it, but it is a really great film, where Shawshank Redemption on the opposite side is quite different, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. But getting to my review score for the Green Mile, this one gets an outstanding 9.7. If you collect cinema, if you enjoy movies, cinema, this is one of those 4K Ultra HD releases compared to that Blu-ray above that you must own. This is a must-own pickup, and I can't believe that we've gotten some must-owns this year. I talked about Ghostbusters Afterlife recently and Dune. This year has been outstanding for 4K Ultra HD. There was no audio issues, no audio lags, no unstable film grain, no big fluctuations on this. It really was a pleasing and outstanding picture. 9.7 for this. You really need to pick this up and add this to your collection. If you like Stephen King, Frank Darabont, any of the actors that are in this movie, you're never going to regret picking up this movie and adding it to your collection, because it is one of those movies that has only grown over time, and it really does make you enjoy it the more you've seen it. And I think I've seen this film now about 6 or 7 times, and each time I watch it I notice new things with a different cast in it, and there's numerous cast members in this that have passed away since then, and their performances in this were just outstanding. This really is a must-buy, and because of the Dolby Atmos edition, it really does make this shine and adds a whole new element to even the audio mix. So if you do have the availability for Dolby Atmos on your home cinema, you will notice a big upgrade on this. And I do wish they would have done Dolby Vision on this. It does have HDR10 that looks really good on this, but it would have been cool to see how the Dolby Vision would have been. But I guess we can't always get everything, and the Dolby Atmos mix was a really nice addition to this, and I was really pleasantly surprised with that. Now on the discs in this, the 4K is a BD100. Because of the length of the movie, they needed a BD100. It's not over compressed and had plenty of room on it, so I am glad they put it on a BD100, and that is region free. On the Blu-ray disc, this is the original Blu-ray disc. It's a BD50, though that is region free as well. So no matter where you are worldwide, as all of you know that watch this channel over the years, you can import this and buy this through the link I've put in the description section or the pinned comment below. It'll ship anywhere worldwide, and it is a region free set. So you can play both discs, watch all the special features, watch the movie, no issues playing it in any players worldwide, both the Blu-ray and the 4K. So again, that 9.7 is an outstanding review score for this, and I highly recommend. This is a must buy to pick up and add to your collection that really does shine in image and audio quality. Now, when all of you watch my content here on my YouTube channel and you enjoy these 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons that you see above, the only way I can continue to provide all of these for all of you to watch is by the support of all of you with a super thanks down below. I am only supported through the support of all my viewers and subscribers just like you that watch these videos. And I don't have Patreon, so the only way that you can support this channel is by clicking through those links in the description section below that take you out to Amazon. That supports just a tiny bit. And giving us super thanks down below, it lets you give $1, any amount you want to give on each of these videos you watch. That's how I pay for the software to go and scan and get all the information off of all these discs, to do all these reviews and these special 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons that you've been seeing above. So if you enjoy this content and you enjoy these videos that I create, make sure to go down and give a super thanks down below and click through those links out to Amazon. That way, it does help me to keep being able to create all of these videos for all of you to watch and enjoy continually here on my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to give this video a like. Click that subscribe button and that bell notification down below. That way you never miss out on any of this exclusive or special content that I do here on my YouTube channel. Now, going into the Shawshank Redemption, talking about the Green Mile and the Shawshank Redemption, I think they really are tied together, like I said, as double features. Now, the Shawshank Redemption is drastically different as a film. It's more about holding on to hope and living for something and holding on to something good. Whereas I said the Green Mile is quite a drastically different type of story, as I explained in that review. I enjoy them for different reasons. I think the acting in this is outstanding by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. And again, this is another Frank Darabont movie that was written and directed by him based off of a Stephen King novel. Now, this is another native 4K 2160p representation here. And we're going to start off with the screenshot comparisons of the original Blu-ray that you're going to see up here above versus the 4K Ultra HD of the Shawshank Redemption. There's some drastic differences on this one as well, but quite differently between the two of them. On the original Green Mile, it more had an orangish brownish tone on the original Blu-ray. Well, on the Shawshank Redemption, it was very grayed out, dull. The color tone was just gray overall and had very drab colors. I mean, overall, it just was so desaturated. Instead of like the Green Mile where it had a very brownish or orangish oversaturated in that sense, this one was very gray, dull, and just drab. I mean, honestly, it was not a good picture to look at all. Very, very, very hazy, foggy look to the film. Overall, I thought originally maybe that was how they filmed it, and that's not the case at all. Simply when they did the transfer and everything like that, they did not do a great job with that Blu-ray at all. It really looks very poor overall. Now, as you've noticed, in the 4K Ultra HD release, that's absolutely not the case in any shape or form. They've given it more lifelike and natural color tone. When they did the new color grading on this as well, just like what they did with Green Mile, they did a way better job showing what it would have looked like originally in theaters without that bad transfer they did on that Blu-ray. It shows their skin tones to be more natural, the prison uniforms, the walls of the prison, the sunshine, everything in it looks more natural in this, and overall is just a more pleasing picture versus the overall ugly Blu-ray. And I hate to say it, but the Blu-ray was just downright ugly. On this 4K Ultra HD, it's got a very crisp, clear, and more natural image overall on it. The color tones on this with the HDR10 implementation and the color grading are more vibrant. There's so many more shades in their skin tones that stand out. When they're out sitting in the sun and working and the sun's shining on them and their sweat's glistening and you can see they're kind of suntanned, there's so many more shades with the HDR representation that really do shine through on this versus that dull, drab Blu-ray that was released before. Also, on the new 4K Ultra HD, completely gone is the soft and very, very foggy image. This has a very sharp presentation. Film grain is stable throughout the whole thing, just like the Green Mile was. Very, very stable film grain. You can see it, but it's not too heavy. There's no fluctuations throughout it. Very, very pleasing picture to watch overall. Now, the Shawshank Redemption came out in 1994. This one came out obviously before the Green Mile. And it is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. Again, just like Green Mile, they didn't cut it down or change it or alter it in any way, shape, or form. The runtime on this is 142 minutes, and it is rated R as well. This one's rated R for a similar thing. It's got strong language and violence in it, though again, I think Frank Darabont, with his writing and directing, did a very good job with this, and I do think as a film, with the story and things like that, it had to be rated R anyways because it was in a prison and things that went on in the prison. It's the same thing with the Green Mile. I don't really know how else they would have told this story to give you the effect of realism in any shape or form if it wasn't rated R. So that's where I said I feel like it was done very tastefully. Now in this one, we do get a slight difference in audio though. This one does have an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. it did not get a Dolby Atmos mix. I really wish they would have done a Dolby Atmos mix on this just like they did in the Green Mile, because after listening to the Green Mile, man, it would have been cool to get some of those effects in this as well. The Dts Hd Master Audio 5.1 in English does sound good. There's no issues with it. I didn't have any audio lag or audio issues at all. It's just, it's not as amazing of a sound mix as that Dolby Atmos was. So that's where I kind of think audio-wise, Green Mile wins out just by a little bit because of the audio mix on that side of it, where I did think the audio mix on the Green Mile was a little better than Shawshank Redemption. Now you do get a bunch of Dolby Digital audio mixes as well in 2.0. You're going to get things like French, German, Italian, Spanish, Chinese, Hungarian, Polish, and those are all available on it as well. Subtitle wise, you're going to get English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, plus 11 more other options. So just like with the Green Mile, basically any subtitle option you're looking for, they're going to be on either of these discs. Now it does come with a slipcover on it, and I do like how they have kind of a matching theme between this and the Green Mile. On your bookcase, they're going to look great. It says on the side, Shawshank Redemption, same design as what was on the case of that other one. Back, it's got some cover artwork, obviously looks the same. It does get a digital copy in this as well. Movies Anywhere, same as Green Mile. So again, great they included that in it. Now when you get inside here, here's your original Blu-ray release, and here is your brand new 4K Ultra HD. Now, on the original Blu-ray release, this is the original Blu-ray release as well. So again, you're never going to want to watch the movie on this after you've watched it on 4K, because as you've seen above, there is hands down a drastic difference, just like with the Green Mile, but in a drastically different way. This looks outstanding compared to that original Blu-ray release. You'll never pop this in to watch the movie. But it's nice they included it. This is all the original special features that were included on the Blu-ray, so you don't get anything new in that sense. You're basically just getting the new 4K Ultra HD scan, color grading, and they did scan it from the original 35mm film elements as well for this native 4K, which is where I really think this and the Green Mile really stand out, because they scanned them and did a brand new color grading. Man, do they look really good over those horrible Blu-ray releases. On the 4K Ultra HD, you do get a BD66. I do have good news for everyone worldwide. This is region free. On your Blu-ray disc, you do get a BD50, and that is region free as well. So good news for everyone worldwide, no matter where you live. If you're wanting to import this or buy this, as I said, I put those links below in the description section and as a pinned comment. All of the discs in this set are region free, so you can watch all the special features, the movies. No issues playing it in any player. My region A, my region B, my region C, didn't matter. All of them played seamlessly, no issues whatsoever. Now talking about the Shawshank Redemption here, I do really feel like the Shawshank Redemption had a bunch of surprises that really did surprise me a little bit more than the Green Mile did. Now Stephen King's books and movies always do have some surprises along the ways, and that's why I don't want to give it all away. But if you haven't seen the movies, they're things where you kind of expect it to go along, and you're kind of, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then it kind of surprises you how things change and things kind of come out of nowhere and you didn't expect that to happen. That's where I really feel like both of these films are really well done, and they're not just about somebody sitting in prison and you're thinking to yourself, man, seems pretty boring. No, they've got great, outstanding acting, writing, and direction, and I really wish Frank Darabont would come back and start doing some more movies that he would direct and write. I really did like Tim Robbins' performance in it. Obviously, Morgan Freeman's outstanding in it, but overall, it gives you that warm feeling watching the movie, and after you see it, you want to go back and watch it again, because it really is one of those movies that'll surprise you, and you'll find over the years, you go back and watch it for one of those feel-good movies, and it really does touch you every time you watch it. And over time, it's one of those movies for years and years that people have talked about and have really enjoyed and have gone back again and again to watch. Now, because of how great this new scan was and how good this drastically looked over the dull and drab Blu-ray release from before, my review score for this is a 9.6. This is highly recommended, and I do recommend adding this to your collection just along with the Green Mile. Now, you might be asking what made this just slightly less, a fraction of a point less than basically what the Green Mile got. And here's why. The Green Mile got a new Dolby Atmos audio mix that really did kind of elevate it and give it a special little touch to it that I did like. This did not get a Dolby Atmos mix. I did think that if this would have gotten a Dolby Atmos mix, it would have been a 9.7, but that's where that kind of came from. In my opinion, they're both really good films. Some of you might have one you like slightly better than the other. I like them both for completely different reasons. Like I said, one's more about hope, like Shawshank Redemption is, and holding on to hope. And so that's why I said they're drastically different in that sense. But taking the films and basically what they did on these 4K Ultra HD representations, just Shawshank Redemption, because it didn't get a Dolby Atmos mix, just got slightly less. And that's where that kind of came from. both of them are highly recommended as must-buys. They look outstanding. Both the Shawshank Redemption and the Green Mile are must-buys. You really need to add them to your collection. They are huge upgrades over those previous Blu-rays. As you probably noticed above, even when I was showing you Shawshank here, and they are really good Frank Darabont movies and good Stephen King adaptations. And a lot of the times with Stephen King, you don't really get some great movie adaptations. There's been some, but there's been a lot of misses. So some of them are good, but then there's been tons that have been really bad. So that's where I thought the Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption both were really well done. And it seems to be pretty rare, but Frank Darabont really knows what he's doing. And that's why I really wish he'd come back and do some more films, because man, I'd love to see him do some more Stephen King stuff, and just overall his writing and directing was outstanding in these. Now for Shawshank Redemption and the Green Mile, I really wanted to do this double feature prison drama just to give them a special review for all of you. And I like doing these double features sometimes as kind of a back-to-back review to get you something special to show you the screenshot comparisons between both of them. And I hope you've enjoyed all the extra hard work and time that I've put into both these reviews today. If you enjoyed this content, as always, make sure to go down and give a super thanks down below. That's what supports my YouTube channel and helps me to be able to keep providing and paying for all the software, to spend all the time getting the data off of these discs, testing them, and doing all of these exclusive reviews for all of you here on my YouTube channel. So, if you enjoy this content and you like watching these videos, the only way I can keep doing this is through the support of all of you, my viewers and subscribers. So make sure to go down and give a super thanks down below. Make sure to go down, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these videos that I create here. I hope all of you have a blessed day as always, and I have something new and exciting coming out very soon.